Multiversity here. I'm here with Marguerite Bennett, one of our favorites. It's true. So you've had a bunch of books that have recently ended, which we'll get to at DC lately, but the first one that I want to talk about is Batgirl Number 25. That issue, the story that you did in there with Barbara and Dick, was one of our favorite stories of the year so far. It really was. It was. Great. We're huge. We're huge Barbara Gordon and Dick nuts. So, where did the inspiration for that story come from, or what was your thinking while you were creating this sort of like romantic kind of setting between the two of them?
I mean, for me, every one of the DC heroes represents a different theme or thesis in some cases. For Batman, you can construe him either, as sort of like the embodiment of justice or the embodiment of obsession. For Batwoman, I believe that her core is about service, whether it's military service, whether it's service to others, or whether it's finally learning to do right by herself. And for Batgirl, for Barbara Gordon in particular as Batgirl, I believe that she's about recovery. And, in some cases, people tend to take that as face value, that it's about, the recovery, sort of the transition from her being Oracle back to Batgirl. But I really believe that it's about, in part, the recovery of herself, but also the recovery of others. Is that, helping, saving others, delivering others. And, Dick and Babs have gone through, this crucible of experiences, and that no one else can share. That they understand each other, that they came up together, and that they recognize, these strengths and these weaknesses, not weaknesses, these vulnerabilities in one another, that they respect and that they protect, and that no one else will or could understand each other the way that they do. And that there's something that will always be very intimate in that, and that, it doesn't necessarily mean romance, it doesn't necessarily mean only platonic friendship, but that when one needs the other, that person will always answer the call.
Yeah, I think you captured that really beautifully in that story. So then the other two books that have recently ended, Batwoman and Bombshells United. I believe Bombshells United has a second volume coming out at the end of this month, so I hope everybody picks that up. Is it bittersweet to leave those behind? I mean, you know probably what's happening down the road maybe with these characters, if anything, but for the time being, is it bittersweet to leave those?
Absolutely. It was 4 years of my life. Bombshells changed my career. Before that, I'd really just done these little one-shots or little tiny mini things, and when we first started the series, we were warned, don't get attached, you're gonna get canceled after about 5 issues, so just prepare yourself. And even my editor Jim Chadwick, when he approached me for the project, also Jim is so infinitely patient and so infinitely wise, and I took advantage of that patience too many times. He asked for maybe a 2-3 page outline, and I sent him 18 pages. And it was honestly because of the retailers, the cosplayers, the readers, the fans, who made DC take notice of these designs, these incarnations of the characters. And when they reached out to me, none of us knew or anticipated that we were expecting the first issue was going to do okay, and then we sold 60,000 issues, and we were just off to the races. And it's been 4 years. We had 2 series. We had the fashion line, the Funko Pops, the action figures, the vinyl dolls, and the Joanne fabric. Every iteration. We shipped through 2 series, 1,300 pages, the equivalent of 65 issues, and we never shipped late. And even though I have to say goodbye to it, I am so proud of what we accomplished.
Yeah, it's incredible. Shot glasses too, which I actually own. So, and just an amazing bevy of talent from the art side that you worked with. I think Marguerite Sauvage, Mirka Andolfo.
Yeah. Pacino, they're phenomenal.
Amazing. Yeah. It's kind of 2 different situations with Batwoman versus Bombshells United, because it felt to me like Bombshells United was this thing that at least for the foreseeable future is going to be ending, but Batwoman, we know Kate Kane is going to be around doing other things. Talk about what it's like to leave a world that's probably going to go untouched for a little while versus a character that you're kind of setting up. The last issue of Batwoman was so beautifully set up Yeah, with her sister and the stuff with Renee. This is all stuff that we've wanted to see, and it gives you it all right at the end, and it makes you want more. So, talk about the distinction between writing those two different types of endings.
Sure. I mean, with Bombshells, I'm incredibly proud of where we left it, and if that's where it stays, then I'm proud of that ending. If I get the opportunity to tell more stories within that universe, I'll be delighted. But I'm also happy with what we've done. And with Batwoman, it's a different sort of thing because it's the knowledge that you're always working in a community, and it's the same thing that our mothers taught us, is that you leave a place better than you found it. And so it's just the hope that there are toys in the toy box for future writers, the tools in the toolbox for future writers, and that there are things they can play with or leave be at their discretion. And then I'm just hoping that if it has to rest for a little while, we've left it in a calm, happy place. But if it's going to continue, then there's something there for people to get up to a lot of mischief.
Definitely. So I know you've talked in the past about how Kate Kane is one of your favorite characters ever, a dream character to write. Do you have any other, maybe number 2 dream characters that you'd like to tackle at DC?
I mean, funny enough, I wound up falling in love with Zatanna while working on Bombshells. I had never really felt much resonance with the character, but it was getting to write her, having the opportunity that, I adore her now, and I would love to write her. Not necessarily, in main continuity, though that would be fun, but, even just off in side stories, another weird, Bombshells-esque world where it's this encapsulated universe, we can get real weird.
Yeah, definitely. That's not a tease for anything, is it?